A colleague of mine, another consultant, gave me a piece of advice that I want to share with you. Last year, I was on a phone with him and I was sharing my latest positioning choice, which was to decide to focus on serving professional services firms, consultants, agencies, B2B businesses, engineers, software developers, and some, in my case, it's also some tech companies. And he said, hey, you are actually serving people like you. And the principle that I see here is you are your first client. And I thought this was powerful because all of a sudden I could explain why I felt so excited about this new positioning. It's because I know the people that I serve because they're just like me, or they're very, very similar to me. I know them and I know them so well that it's almost like I put a camera in their office. It's almost like I can read their mind. I can finish their sentences. I can tell what's happening in their business around them. I almost know how their family sometimes feel because I know how my family feels living with an entrepreneur running a professional services company. So serving who you are, being your first client is so powerful because it gives you a lot of leverage. You understand people that are like you, and you can really decode and analyze and detect all of the patterns that they're going through so much faster. Now, another anecdote I want to share to illustrate the power of this principle is today, one of my clients said, well, I last night I wasn't sleeping well and I was able to grab a book on resilience and understand that I needed to shift my mindset from scarcity to abundance. And this person works on resilience. He's an expert on resilience. And he said this, and I thought this, and he said, this is solid gold, meaning if I have the capacity to do that, this is solid gold for myself. He is, in that case, he was his first client. He was applying to himself his own principle. There's a saying in the US in English that I don't particularly like, but there it goes. Like eat your own dog food, or walk your talk, if you will. And in this case, what I advise that he does is that he writes about his experience, helping himself as his own client, right? So this is an approach to positioning that is very, very powerful. If you think about other experts around you, other consultants, those who have very strong narrative power, that narrative power comes from the fact that they've experienced some kind of aha or hurdle or hardship or trauma that led them to rethink the way they were driving their business or running their life or reacting to certain events. They decided that it was time for them to change something that mattered so much to them that it was worth investing the time. They decided to defy the normal because that normal was wrong. This is my definition of narrative power, the leadership skill to defy the normal when the normal is wrong. So in positioning your business as a business that serves you as your own client, obviously not literally, because you still have to serve many other clients to have an impact and drive revenue and be efficient. But if you decide to think about positioning your business as such, you're just reusing and pulling so much energy into that business because all of a sudden that business makes sense. Makes sense because you are a trusted advisor because you experienced already what your clients are going through. And that's why I say you have leverage. You have the credibility, the trust, and you can own them. You can hold them accountable for the actions that they need to take to get better. So there you have it. You are your first client. Look around you. Maybe you're specialized in operations. How are your processes? If you are an expert in branding, how do you do branding? How do you brand your business today? I decided to do this. I decided to position my business as serving me as a client first, because I wanted to improve. I wanted to enrich my life. It's a bit selfish in a way, but if you think about it, it's not so selfish. It's actually realigning your whole existence, career, background, and pointing it in and just making it happen in the direction that it wants to happen. Just channeling your life, letting it emerge, and exploring it, documenting it, packaging the insights that you're observing throughout your own journey for the benefit of your clients. I'll leave you with your thoughts. I can't talk tonight, but that's okay. You got my point. I will leave you with those thoughts about that key principle. You are your first client.